Yvonne, we know that Matthew O'Kane and his partner, Krista Avery, a dual Australian-Canadian citizen, had been in Myanmar working in the biggest city, Yangon, on and off for about 10 years. They were working as business consultants and specialised in the agribusiness sector. They were trying to leave Myanmar on Friday on a special relief flight, but they were stopped at the airport by the junta and ordered into house arrest. As to why, we don't yet know. The details are very, very limited. Even the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade in Australia has been able to confirm that it is providing consular assistance to 2 Australian nationals, but it won't go into any further details, and the Myanmar side is not talking either. So there is limited information at this stage. Friends of the couple, though, say that they had been in Myanmar and always had good intentions. They were working legitimately there and trying to help the people. So they can't understand why this couple is now under house arrest. The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade is also continuing to help a 3rd Australian professor, Sean Turnell. He was in Myanmar as an advisor, an economic advisor to the now ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi, and he was arrested 5 days after the coup. The junta said that he was trying to flee the country and that he was found with secret state financial information. But as yet, we have not seen any formal charges levelled against Sean Turnell. So now he remains in custody in an undisclosed location, while we have Matthew O'Kane and Krista Avery, 2 more Australians, under house arrest.
And Mazoe, we know that more international sanctions are to be placed on Myanmar. What can you tell us about those and who's behind them?
Well, the EU's foreign ministers are meeting in Brussels to discuss their measures that they will impose for what they've called a deteriorating situation. They say that they'll impose sanctions on 11 individuals linked to the Myanmar coup. The EU already has an arms embargo and has targeted some of the senior military figures in Myanmar since 2018. But taking this step, imposing sanctions on 11 individuals since the coup, would be the most significant step that the EU has taken in response to the military seizing power from the elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi. So we're waiting for some more details on who those 11 individuals are and specifically what the sanctions will be.
Meanwhile, anti-coup protests continue around the country again today, but protesters have changed their tactics, it appears. What are they doing now?
Well, they're not so much gathering in their thousands in these large rallies in cities and towns anymore, Yvonne, but what they're doing is having smaller flash mob pop-up style protests at random times throughout the day from dawn till dusk. We've seen one that was in Dawei in the south where hundreds of protesters released red balloons, the colour of the National League for Democracy Party of Aung San Suu Kyi. In another town, all the drivers honked their car horns at exactly the same time. And in another, we saw posters being laid out in a field saying that we do not accept the military dictatorship must fail. So what the protesters here are trying to do is avoid confrontation with the military, and with good reason. We've already seen more than 250 people killed by security forces and scores injured. So these protesters are now trying to think a little bit differently about how they continue to keep their campaign very public, but keeping safe at the same time.
And Mazoe, what can you tell us about the civil disobedience movement, where it's at and how you expect it to continue?
Well, the most recent demonstration we've seen, Yvonne, has been in the city of Mandalay, where doctors have walked off the job there and taken to the streets to march against this military coup and call for the release of Aung San Suu Kyi. The latest profession really to take this kind of action. We've seen engineers, teachers, doctors, nurses, people from all ages and walks of life take part in this civil disobedience movement to send a message to the junta that they will not be a part of the government now. They will not be a part of a regime that does not respect people's wishes and does not respect people's votes in the most recent elections. So a movement that's very much aimed at crippling the country as much as it hurts these individuals too, but they are determined to send a message that they will not work with this military regime, and they keep taking to the streets in various ways and from various professions to prove it.
Mazoe, thanks for that update.